Hey, I'm Alex, and I want to talk to you about recycling. And first of all, I want to have an applause for who thinks recycling is important. Right? I think so too. Imagine what our world would look like if we did recycle. The streets would be clustered, everything would look like crap. And have you ever thought about what happens in our body if we wouldn't recycle properly? Well, if you haven't, I'm going to tell you. The process that is doing this is called autophagy. And there are basically two flavors of autophagy. One, so we have a stimulus in the beginning. One can be that you're very hungry, or something is broken in your cell, and you want to get rid of it. So this stimulus leads to the formation of a thing called phagophore. And this phagophore is this curvature-like shape, but just forget about it. Imagine it like Pac-Man. Pac-Man is hungry, and he's pissed. He wants to eat. And so he goes about his day, eats everything that he can, but he doesn't touch the ghosts. The ghosts are the essential parts of our cells. Then the other scenario is Pac-Man having a craving. Maybe he wants to eat something special. He wants to have a crab farm, like we had 2 days ago maybe, for carnival. But in his case, those are the ghosts. And in the game, you get more points if you loot ghosts. And in our case, this is cargo that needs to be degraded. This is trash in our cells that we need to get rid of. And so he eats it. And at some point, he's very content and full, and he's happy, and he meets someone. And this someone is called lysosome. And they really hit it off, and we don't know what happens there. But they end up being fused together. So just imagine this is our lysosome, and he helps our friend Pac-Man to get rid of everything that is inside of the cell. So he wants to have the nutrients and metabolites that are inside, and yeah, lysosome helps him with that. So just imagine what would happen if this process is not working anymore. The trash would be in our cells, and it would harm our cells. And one prominent example for this is the most common dementia called Alzheimer's. I mean, many of you have heard about Alzheimer's, I guess. And I want to tell you that there are several kinds of memory loss. One of them is short-term memory loss, like for example in Finding Nemo, Dory, she forgets everything all the time, but she still knows who she is, right? Well, think of Alzheimer's as something that does something to you, which is basically imagine your memory as a puzzle. And these puzzle pieces are certain memories. And of course you have first the short-term memory loss, but afterwards you start forgetting small pieces. Maybe you forget a walk at the beach first. But this gets more severe every time this happens in our brains. And at some point you might not even remember your children or your spouse. And at some point you might just lose yourself. Why does this happen? So in our brain there are these neurons. And these cells die because of plaques that are formed in the brain. And these plaques in the beginning are very small. And because they are so small, usually autophagy could degrade them. But it was shown that these small plaques just inhibit autophagy from doing that. And thus, this big cluster can actually even form. And since this is toxic to our cells, more and more cells start to die, and you start forgetting things. So in the beginning, I told you that there's this stimulus which leads to the formation of this phagophore, of this Pac-Man. And actually, it's not only one stimulus, it's a whole signal cascade. So there are a lot of factors that are involved, and some of them are inhibiting, and some are activating. So just think of it. Wouldn't it be great to boost autophagy back to its former state and prevent those big aggregates to form? And just get rid of them before they even form. So that's why I'm working on a protein that is involved in the activation of autophagy. And with a lot of luck, we might be able to help people with Alzheimer's at some point. And this is why recycling might just save us all. Thank you.